So, tonight we have a very special story hour planned, and I think it's going to be a really good time because it's one of my favorite things to do. So, 今夜はね、ちょっと特別な企画をしようかなと思いますので、自分がとても好きなことなので、多分みんなも好きかもしれませんので、ちょっとやってみようかなと思いました。So as you can see from down here below, today is Erotic Fiction Story Hour. Yes, that is what it's going to be. 今日は AV 小説ストーリータイムという企画をしておきました。I think it's going to be a good time because it's something that I love to do, and I hope you will enjoy it too. Yes!So you all probably know my name is Goma Dango and I'm here in Tokyo doing drag shows and stuff like that. And I wanted to have some fun with you all tonight because Golden Week is over and it's time to get back to work. And why the fuck not? So let's do this. So 私はゴマ単語と申しまして、ゴールデンウィークがそろそろ終わってしまいますので、明日から仕事なんで、ちょっとね、ダメなことやってみようかなって思いましたので、一緒に楽しみしましょうって感じでやりましょうか。Alright, so, when I was in high school, I used to read these erotic stories all the time.And I wanted to introduce this site to you so you can look down here. The site is actually called the Nifty Erotic Stories Archive. このウェブサイトではいろんなちょっと AV っぽいとか、ちょっとダメとか、ちょっとエッチなストーリーがいっぱい読めることがありますので、本当にそういうエッチなことが好きであれば、ぜひお読みください。結構エッチなことばっかりなんで、超面白い。So I would read these erotic stories all the time. Okay, maybe through high school and then maybe through college as well. But after a while, porn on the internet started getting better and better, right? So no one really wanted to read anymore. But I really love reading. I've always loved reading even as a kid. And when I found out that this genre exists, I was like, okay! And so I decided to move on to this, and it's still going strong. This is back from the early 90s when it was super popular. But I mean, it's still very, very strong. It said, right now, if you can see right here, there's over 360,000 stories by over 15,000 authors, and it's all online for free. And it's run thanks to donations, which is absolutely fabulous. So today we're going to read a story together.And we're going to see if it's fun. I'm going to be doing it in English tonight because that would take way too long to translate the entire thing into Japanese. And my vocabulary just is not good. So 今夜のストーリーは英語で読んでいこうかなと思いますので、もし英語できるんだったら、じゃあ一緒に試してみましょう。申し訳ないんですけれども、すべてを日本語に通訳したら全然意味ないと思いますので、私の日本語力は全然弱くて、あまり意味ないと思いますので、もし日本語で読みたいんであれば、ちょっと声かけてもらって、また別の企画で、プランニングしておきますので、よろしくお願いいたします。So let's get started by taking this website, because I really wanted to introduce this website to you guys, because it's super, super fun. So as I said before, it's the Nifty Erotic Stories Archive, and if you go down here,there are 4 categories that you can choose from. The first category being gay, the next one being bisexual, transgender, and lesbian. So we have the 4 categories that are probably the most popular on this website. Of course, there are other stories that, span across other genres and other sexual orientations and other kinks and other desires, but probably these 4 are the most common on this site. So we're going to choose one of these stories. And, 普通のexample としては, this is an example. People are still donating and publishing almost every single day. So if you wanted to donate to this site, if you wanted to, show a little bit of your appreciation, you definitely can. And I will show you how to do it by going to this tab. So you can go to...where is it? Yes. Here, donate.nifty.org/donate.html, because it's kind of an old style website, but if you wanted to donate to this website, you definitely can here. So もし投げ銭をしたいんであれば、このウェブサイトまでにぜひドネートしてください。It will keep the platform running and it will keep the authors motivated. I'm not sure if authors are paid, but I'm sure if money is going into it, why not, right? I assume we'll find out. だけど、today's story is written by the title, the author is L. Stone. So 今日の作家さんは L. Stone という方なんですけれども、and the subject, the story title is Chris Pratt's Great Day. This is in the gay category, okay? I'm getting excited. ちょっとワクワクしちゃう。All right. So the story is called Chris Pratt's Great Day. And maybe I didn't say it earlier, but everything on this website is kind of like sexual fan fiction. So there's stories about Simpsons characters. There's stories about Harry and Hermione from Harry Potter. Harry and Ron is also another big storyline. Any anime, any cartoon, any series, any celebrity that you can think of, there is fan fiction written about them. And it's not just fan fiction, it's also everyday stuff like basic tropes, whether it be coach and a student get together, or like a lonely housewife gets with the pool boy when he's cleaning her pool topless, something like that. Like it's all about these different dynamics. So そういう興味がある方だったらぜひこのウェブサイトを見てください。絶対に好きと思います。I mean, if anything, little high school Goma Dango loved that, so why the fuck not? So there are so many stories to choose from, but tonight's story is called Chris Pratt's Great Day. Yes. If you don't know who Chris Pratt is, where have you been? But let's just take a look and do a quick Google search of Chris Pratt. So this is him. He's from Parks and Recreation. He's from Jurassic Park. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but it was a funny story, and so I thought it would be fun to share with you all. So let's get started. Go up to the other tab and let it go. All right. Chris Pratt's Great Day. Here we go. Now, there are a lot of mistakes in this story, so I hope you enjoy it even more. Haikimasu. Chris wakes up with a jump and somewhat disoriented to feel someone rubbing up and down on the backs of his legs. Belatedly, he realized that he was on a massage studio, getting a full body massage while he was on location for research on a new project. Okay, hold on. He was on a massage studio. これは文法的にダメですよね。He was on a massage table, perhaps, but okay. Are you doing all right, Mr. Pratt? A male voice inquires. Okay, that was probably bad. Okay, we have a slight drawl. Okay, so let's try this again. Are you doing all right, Mr. Pratt? That was kind of gay, but we're going to deal with it. Are you doing all right, Mr. Pratt? A male voice inquires with a slight drawl. I'm fine, Matt. That's how Chris Pratt talks in my story, okay? I'm fine, Matt, Chris replies. I just dozed off. Thanks to your great hands. And please call me Chris. Mr. Pratt still sounds like you are asking for my father. Hashtag daddy issues. Yes, mister, Matt replied. I mean, Chris. Okay. So Chris is on the table and he's getting a massage by a southern gentleman. Not hating it. Oh, by the way, this is not for children. Okay, 今夜のストーリーはぜひ子供たちが見たらダメ. So you should definitely not be joining this live stream with your children tonight. I highly unrecommend it, disrecommend it, advise against it, because this shit gets dirty. Okay. Better, Chris says, then laughs one more Mr. in here and I will make you call me monkey, but I don't know what that means. I have no fucking idea what that means. I'm sorry. This person's crazy. Let's keep going. Okay, Matt replies. I know when to stop. Matt had been continuing to work out tension in Chris's legs while they were speaking. He noticed that while Chris's shoulders and back had been tense, the legs, and he was guessing the quads and glutes, were very knotted up. Ooh! Okay, you can just touch the quads and the glutes and realize they're knotted up. I mean, you are a massage therapist? Like, you can just fucking touch them and get on with it. Matt's a little shy, and we're gonna be okay with that. All right, moving on. Matt had been very surprised to have an online appointment set for the late afternoon for one of his 120-minute sports / deep tissue massages with a new client. Being is a smaller city. Okay, that's wrong. Being a smaller city. Being in a smaller city? Yeah, being in a smaller city no hoga ii desu yo ne. Hai, typo. Being in a smaller city in Oklahoma, he did not usually get clients to book that massage option without having come to him for another service first. It did not occur to Matt that the name of Chris Pratt would be the movie actor, though he did chuckle when he first thought of the name and thought that he would be hot. Oh, sorry. And thought that would be hot to work on the Chris Pratt. Okay. Maybe the author's not having as much trouble as I am having. Okay, let's continue. He made sure his private studio was set up and his oils were warm. I'm sorry. Okay. So, he gets a yoyaku from Chris Pratt, and he's like, oh my god, that would be hot. And so the first thing he does is make sure his oils are warm. That's cute. That's very, very cute. Lime on the hill. Oops, I'm still a virgin. So sorry about that, Lime on the hill. You can do it. You can do it, though. Hang in there. All right. Hey, Mary, hey, girl. All right. Let's keep going with the story. Let's studio with the story. All right, here we go. The time arrived for his new appointment to show up. Right on time. A tall, light brown-haired stranger. We need some hyphens in there. A tall, light brown-haired stranger walked through his studio door. He smiled. His green eyes were sparkling. Matt had his iPad in hand for the pre-massage evaluation questions and almost dropped it as the stranger spoke. Okay. So Matt's trying to be a professional girl tonight. I like that. That's cool. Pre-evaluation questions. Pre-massage evaluation questions. For example, do you want to get a massage? Okay, we're done. All right, moving on. Hi, ikimasu. Hi. I forget Chris Pratt's voice that I did 5 minutes ago. What did I say? We're going to go with something new. Hi, this is Firebird Massage, right? The stranger said. You must be Matt. I'm Chris. Yes, sir. You are in the right place, Matt said after taking a moment to get his composure. Oh, I love getting my composure. Glad you were able to find the studio right this way. What happened to the pre-massage evaluation questions? I feel like someone is shirking their responsibilities, and we're going to be seeing what this leads to. Okay. Matt directed Chris through his waiting area back to his therapy room. He got a chance to look Chris over. Oh, here we go. Okay. The descriptives in erotic fiction are the absolute best, so get into it. Chris was just taller than him at 6 foot, and Chris's shoulders were wider. Chris was wearing a solid black V-neck shirt and dark denim jeans. They were both on the tighter side and showed off his toned, muscular physique. His smile was electric. It took Matt's breath away. Okay. I mean, as I said, like, Chris Pratt, not the biggest fan, but if we're describing him like this with, like, tight black V-neck and tight little dark denim jeans, like, I'm not hating it. You know, like, we can all picture that, like, North America, Caucasian, muscle gay, like, with that outfit on, right? And, when they're not being problematic, it's usually like, okay, let me just look at you. Don't talk, but let me just look at you. All right, here we go. Hi. Continue. Okay. There is a changing area right here. Please feel free to use the hooks, shelf, and hanger if you need, Matt said as he pointed to the left part of the room that had a partial privacy wall. Okay, we all know a partial privacy wall is going to have a glory hole in it, and it's probably just a curtain. So who are we kidding, Matt? No, 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 no. Directly behind the changing area is a shower and toilet if you need to douche. You can get undressed to your level of comfort and then come back to the massage table. I love this phrase. To your level of comfort. I absolutely love that phrase. Oh my God. So when you go to like a massage place, they're always like, please get undressed to the level of your comfort. And for me, since I always have these erotic stories in the back of my mind, the level of my comfort is no underwear, no towel, do what you will. And so people aren't usually used to that. But you could also just like take off your shirt and leave your basketball shorts and boxers on. Ew, if you're straight. Or you could just like leave your underwear on or something like that. And so to your level of comfort is always kind of like for me at least, it's like, oh, this is when it starts. And you know what it means? It being the naughty stuff. Mystique, I'm so glad you're enjoying that accent as much as I am butchering it, so that's good. All right, let's move on. What's Chris's voice? Okay. I am already showered, so I am ready to go, Chris said as he walked around to the changing area to begin undressing. Ooh, he's a naughty boy. He's already undressing in front of the guy. Matt could see from Chris's shirt come up. Okay, this is a mistake again. Matt could see from Chris's shirt come up and over his head, and then could hear the sounds of shoes and pants being removed. I thought Chris was still there. I thought he was still there. Like he's gone away now? Okay, I thought he was still there. I thought that was kind of the excitement. Whatever. From your sign up, you are wanting a deep... Who says like that? You are wanting. Who says it like that? People who are not native English speakers and listening to this, do not pay attention to this grammar. This is not natural grammar all the time. You are wanting. No, you want. Come on. You desire. You asked for. You requested. No, you are wanting. No, I'm sorry. From your sign up, you are wanting a deep sports massage with a focus on relaxing. A focus on relaxation equals hand job, blow job, full penetration. Come on. We've all been to Thailand. Matt started trying to stay professional. Okay, he just started. He hasn't been professional up until then. Are there any areas that need special attention that I should be concerned about? The dick. I mean, come on. Like, we're just asking for Chris Pratt to point at his wiener and, move things along. All right, here we go. Looking up from the iPad that he was reading the notes from, Matt saw that Chris was coming around to the table with a... excuse me. Oh, y'all are welcome. Y'all are so welcome. Okay, we're going. Matt saw that Chris was coming around with the ground to the table with a small white towel around his waist. I like that. Not enough to cover anything. That's good. Chris's body was toned and tight. Chris walked closer to where Matt was standing. Okay. So everyone imagine this. One person is naked, only a towel. The other person is like still trying to be professional and like keep it together. Like, mind you, he just started trying to be professional, so that's got to be tough for poor Matt. And he's a country boy. He doesn't know what to do with a Hollywood actor. Guys, it was becoming increasingly difficult for Matt to maintain his composure. Get ready, kids. And his cock was starting to grow in his jockstrap. Okay, so now we just found out that Matt, the professional masseur, wears a jockstrap to work, like any self-respecting, slutty-ass gay man. So good for him. He's thinking ahead. He's ready to go. Thinking to himself, thank God this jock is the tight one. I would be swinging free of some of my looser ones. He was glad his top covered down past the waistband of his shorts to help hide his growing bulge. Okay, so now we found out some very important information that Matt not only is wearing a jockstrap today, but that he has other versions of this jockstrap, and they are actually looser. And he is wearing the tightest of the bunch today, and that's very, very good, because if he hadn't, it would just be all over the place. Like, hi, my name's Matt. Welcome to get a massage. Are there any areas you want to be focused on? It would just be a mess. All right, here we go.
I need my upper body just stretched and relaxed, but my legs are tight. I have been on my feet for some long hours the past few days, Chris said. Who's Chris? I don't know. It sounds like Kermit the Frog, but we're going to go with it. While resting against the table. Here we go. I am still trying to get used to the heat out here. Do you mind if we only drape with this towel?
Okay. So now we know that Chris is definitely into it. He is kind of teasing our man Chris, and we're going to see where it goes because it's only going to get better from here. It is to your comfort level. I am fine with that choice. The Oklahoma heat and humidity has claimed more than a few victims. Okay. All right, this is not how a human talks. I'm sorry. This is not how a human talks. By all means, if you all love this story, please go and tip the site. And thank you, Elle Stone, for this contribution. But that's not how people talk. Let's get real. Okay. Hi, ikimasu. Matt chuckles to cover his awkwardness. Oh, he's awkward. That's cute. And trying not to stare too much, he continued, why don't you start face down, and I can begin with your back and neck, your pussy and your crack. That's where we're going to spell it. C-R-E-C-K. Your pussy and your crack. I like that. Okay. Matt turned to place the iPad down and start the music. But not before he caught more than a glimpse of Chris dropping the closure of the towel and begin to climb on the table. Matt had to adjust himself in his jock pouch, and take a few deep breaths. He selected his relaxing spa music, which infused light jazz, new age, and classical music selections to lull and relax the mind. And soften the cock, honestly. I mean, because if you're going to work on someone hot, you're going to want to focus on, multiplication tables or calculus in your head while you're doing this massage just to not get a raging boner every single time. But what I like to imagine the idea that our Matt character has a Spotify playlist and he's like, spa. And then it just gets started. It's kind of a little bit too much at first, but everyone gets used to what he's showing. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, we're starting from here. He noted that Chris did not indicate any allergies, so he selected the warming almond oil with the hints of jasmine, citrus, and a bareback touch of mint. I didn't say that. He turned back around to find that Chris was now supine. Ooh, good vocabulary, Elstone, as requested, and the small white towel was laying just covering his ass. Ooh! Okay, I have a little bit of a problem with this. Chotto mondai ga arimasu ne. I don't know how almond, jasmine, citrus, and mint are going to work together. I mean, citrus and mint? Okay, give it to me. Mouthwash, bubblegum kind of a thing. But almond oil and jasmine? I don't know. It sounds like a bad candle from Mujirushi, and I'm not going to hate it, but I want to try it before I sign up for it. Magic Mark, massage therapist here with this playlist. Magic Mark, hook a bitch up. Let me know where you are massaging and share the playlist with the chat tonight. I mean, come on. If you all are interested in a spa playlist, please contact Magic Mark in the chat down below because obviously he's ready to go. Hi, ikimasu ne. All right. Matt walked to the top of the table, as if it's so far, and placed his massage oil bottle down after liberally, another good adverb, right? Liberally adding oil to his hands and forearms. Why are we adding oil to our forearm? Okay. If you're going to be like up and down on a person, using your full body weight, okay. But otherwise, you don't really need to put on your forearms, I feel. But I'm not Ask Mark. Taking a deep, cleansing breath. Ugh, Matt and his fucking breaths, right? Does he have asthma? He placed his hands on Chris's upper back and began the long flowing strokes. Oh God, gays love this word, strokes. Every time you hear stroke in a classroom, some kid, usually a guy, just goes off. Not on someone else, but like, verbally. He encountered a few areas of knots of tension, but they were overall not bad. So what was Matt complaining about? Not Matt. So what was Chris complaining about then? Obviously, he's lying to get some D. Or some B. We don't know what's going to happen yet. Now, in his massage routine, Matt was in a light meditative state. Pay the fuck attention, okay? People are signing up for 120 minutes of your sports relaxation massage. It is not time for you to be meditating. Your customer is supposed to be meditating. You need to pay the fuck attention. I'm sorry, no. This is not a K-hole pair massage. No. Allowing his breathing to regulate and allowing him to be in focus on his client. Whatever works for you, Matt. You're from the country, Oklahoma, I think, and, whatever works for you. Your life sounds hard. The soothing music, the flowing massage, and the relaxing scents all worked together to allow Chris to doze off while Matt was still working on his back. Oh, so fast. Matt noticed that he was sleeping and continued his flow strokes, with occasional light snores or mumbles being issued from Chris. I didn't need that last part. The idea of being sexy with a person, well, they're not being sexy with each other yet, but in my mind, they're already sexy. But the whole mention of someone being like, I feel so, I don't want, I don't want that. I don't want that. No. Haikimasu. Having finished with Chris's back and neck, pussy, and crack, Matt retrieved the bottle of massage oil to lube up his elbows as well. No. To put back in the warmer. Oh, he has a warmer. Okay, I thought it was like a microwave or something. And grab his other bottle. He's prepared. He reapplied oil to his hands and arms. There we go again. He then lowered his hands and began to work on Chris's legs. Okay, we are moving lower. I'm not hating it. I am definitely not hating this. And if anyone feels like, oh, this is going a little bit slowly. Oh my God. This shit's going to pick up. It's going to pick up. And y'all going to be begging me to slow down again. Hi, here we go. Matt is having to work harder to relax the tension spots from Chris's calves. He is including his elbow in places to work out the knots. This has changed the massage flow. Oh, so he's no longer meditating. And Chris is no longer so relaxed that he can doze back off. Matt knows that he will need to help distract Chris to have the best chance of a through massage. We all know that's supposed to be thorough. Moving on. So, Chris, what brings you to Oklahoma? Matt asks as he continues the deep massage. After a grunt due to Matt's elbow working a new knot, I am doing some character research for an upcoming project, Chris said. It is for a period piece dealing with oil workers during the oil boom. This is getting boring real quick, huh? Well, I mean, if you connect it with the idea that he's now covered in oil, that's kind of hot. But I don't know. I don't buy it. Well, you are in the right area. There are current day oil field workers all around, Matt replied while working another knot out. This is Chris. I have been shadowing a few different guys, following their work schedules and riding along with them, Chris advised. Chris is advising? That doesn't make sense. I stay active and work out, but heavy working while being on your feet the whole day is different. Wow. Chris sounds like a complainer. I can tell from the way your muscles are tight and not wanting to relax. See, there we go again. The present participle of want. I'm not a fan of this, but, I got what I got, Matt told him.
Your hands are the first relief that I have had in a week,
Chris chuckled, then getting more somber.
Well, to be honest, it has been longer than that since someone has had their hands on my legs.
If this were a microphone, I would drop it. Chris wants to fuck. Chris wants to fuck. We know this, and this is like the first, like, shots fired. This is like when you're in a sauna and the guy next to you is just like he does. I can't wink with one eye. Just forgive me. He looks at you and he's just like. Sorry, that was the worst impression of a guy in a sauna. I'm sorry, but you get what I mean. Okay. Haikimasu. Matt had mood up. He had mood up. Okay, I gotta lubricate these labios. Haikimasu ne. Matt had moved up to working on Chris's muscled thighs and was encountering some deep knots that he was having to work out. His movements kept bumping and catching the draping towel across Chris's ass. Matt would have to stop and rearrange the towel each time, following with his training and keeping the modesty and comfort of the client. Naturally. I mean, no one's gonna die if the towel slips a little bit, and that's honestly where this story is going, but let's move on. This has to go. Oh! Chris said, and grabbed a corner of the towel and pulled it off his upper body. Too many starts and stops. It will take forever if you have to keep restarting. So basically, just enjoy this peach, is what Chris Pratt is saying. Matt pauses as he is now just staring at Chris's naked ass. It is mostly hairless, unlike my forehead, with just some barely poking out of his ass crack. Not the best image. Well, it depends on who you are, right? He is not shocked at Chris's request and actions. Matt has provided nude massage before, even erotic massage. Okay, Matt. Though these services are not listed on his website, a fact that he had been extremely careful of. See, gays are all about this shit, right? Like, they love to have a little sneaky moment and have something be a little bit dangerous, and that kind of turns us on a little bit. I think it goes back to the idea of, like, having to hide everything in our lives before we came out. Like, you know, of course, depending on the person, but, like, back in, you know, when I was first in my teens, like maybe late 90s, like, you couldn't do stuff. And so you just had the idea of having to hide everything that you thought made you gay. And so I think the idea of doing something covertly or doing something under the radar is kind of like one of those, I don't want to say like a Freudian moment, but something that kind of harkens back to the feeling of gay sex just being, you know, altogether prohibited. And so that just kind of gets people going. That's as deep as this is going to go. We're just going to get messy from here on, okay? Here we go. Taking the pause as being offended or embarrassment. If that is all right with you, if not, you can put it back on. Chris said, oh, this is Chris, sorry. If that is all right with you, if not, you can put it back on, Chris said, now tentative, instead of the confident attitude from earlier. Chris is calming down. He's becoming more of a normal Joe. Okay. No, you are fine, but I was just caught off guard a bit, Matt replied as he resumed working on Chris's legs, now having better access and being able to get the deeper knots better. Yeah, that's what you're looking to do. Okay. He continued, Nudity does not bother me at all. I have even offered partial or full nudity sessions before. Okay, we're dropping hints. We're letting each other know that we are into it.
You mean the client nude or the therapist nude?
Chris asked, now sounding intrigued. Gays be beating around the bush as if they're not just gonna suck each other off in 5 minutes anyway. Come on. He paused as Matt got a deep knot in his upper quad. Both, Matt replied simply.
I have to tell you that sound kind of hot. Okay, Chris doesn't like subject-verb agreement anymore, obviously. Chris confides, his hips moving a little to apparently relieve from discomfort from laying flat on the massage table. Bitch, he's hard. He's just adjusting. Then he continued, having a fit and strong guy rub another down. Oh, he's like extrapolating on what he thinks sounds hot. Okay. Is this something you are interested in? Matt inquired. It is not something that I do all the time, nor do I offer it to anyone. Oh, you mean like just anyone? Okay. Matt continues to work out the knots in Chris's thighs and is to the point of wanting to work on his glutes, but is trying to delay until this twist is resolved. Oh, is it a twist? Was this not planned from the beginning, honey, with your little jockstrap from the morning? Chris appears to be making up his mind and has quieted down. He wasn't loud to begin with. Matt switches and starts some long stroking, connecting the lower to upper legs. This was allowing him to push closer to intimate areas, if that is what Chris decides, while still leaving a plausible out for just crossing too close by mistake. Okay, I don't understand this sentence. While still leaving a plausible out for just crossing too close by mistake. Oh, okay. So out is the noun here, and then to should have one more O in it in order to make it a modifier for close. Okay, now this makes sense. Hi. Yes, Chris says. Yes, what? Oh, he's coy, Matt asks to clarify. I want to have a fully nude massage, Chris says. Both of us, fully nude. Maybe she's not saying it like that, but he's saying it like that for me. If that is what you want, Matt says as he lifts his shirt over his head, tossing it on the table. Is there that much room on this table that you can just toss a whole shirt on there as well? I mean, isn't that going to hit your customer? I don't know. That seems a little bit rude. Guys, it's getting hot. It's getting a little bit hot, and I'm excited for it. My Wednesday night is turning out a lot better than it started. Okay. So he tossed on his table, right? We're going to go from this. This was followed quickly by his shorts. Matt paused as he thumbed his waistband of his straining jockstrap. Oh, girl. Taking a deep breath, he slides it off, and it joins his other clothes. Yes, they all join together on the floor. He returns to Chris on the table. With the draping towel removed, they are both fully nude. Matt applies more massage oil to his hand, arms, and now his chest as well. Oh, she's planning something. He places his hands on Chris's legs and resumes long, flowing strokes, including skin-to-skin contact. I almost burped again. I'm so sorry. With the length of his arms and parts of his chest. Matt's hands were not stopping short when going up Chris's legs. He allowed them to go all the way up. When his fingers brushed. When his fingers bushed Chris's upper inner thighs, he heard Chris utter a sigh and observed a twitch of Chris's hips to flare up, opening up for more access. The next few strokes brought Matt's fingers to Chris's taint. The sigh turned into a moan. Okay. So let's do the sigh. Cue the sigh. Now do the moan. Yeah, that's exactly how it went. Hey, Kimas. Feeling more bold, Matt paused and allowed his fingers to brush Chris's ass crack. I'm sorry. You just touched his taint, and now we're feeling bold, and we're going to brush an ass crack. Like, just lick your finger and slip it in already. Oh, God. If I had a nickel.
This was this was rewarded with a larger tilt of Chris's hips and a spread of crack. I'm just imagining like spreading crack across a slice of toast. This Matt took advantage and slid a finger deeper in the crack. When his finger ran across Chris's pucker, a shiver ran through his entire body. Matt added a few additional strokes with a lingering finger. With a lingering finger across the exposed pucker. Okay. This is getting like silly and technical at the same time, and I'm very much here for it. Okay, let's go over this phrase once more. A lingering finger across the exposed pucker. Oh, guys, this is good content. Oh. All right, moving on. Matt took this opportunity to widen Chris's legs to the edges of the table. He then added some more oil before he came to the end of the table and climbed up onto the table between Chris's legs. Now we're very confident. He ran his hands from Chris's ankles all the way up his inner legs. His fingers ran up Chris's taint and ass crack. A light brush of the pucker? I hope no one was hoping to get turned on by this, but I mean, honestly, no one's watching, so why does it matter? His fingers ran up Chris's taint and ass crack. A light brush of the pucker. But then continued up Chris's back. Okay, I've done that move. I've done that. That's a good move. It kind of gets everyone like into the game and focused. The stroke brought Matt's chest to touch Chris's back. Matt made an effort to not directly drag his now hard cock across Chris's ass. Good job. Matt pulled back, rubbing down in the same manner of the stroke up. Matt continued several more times, because everyone likes repetition, right? Each time, the pause at the top of the stroke got longer. Chris had to be flexing up his hips each time, pushing his ass more open and up. With the next stroke up, Matt decided to push higher and then dragged his cock along Chris's ass crack. Okay. Guys, friends, family, Thades, if you're still into this, get into it. If not, it's not going to get any cleaner from here on out. So hold on tight. Oh, fuck! That is so hot! Chris moaned. Matt settled down and pressed his nude, oiled body against Chris and rested. Matt's cock was not nestled. Now, it should be now. Matt's cock was not nestled in Chris's ass crack. Chris was making some flexing motions against Matt's cock. Matt was enjoying this, but he wanted to go a bit further. He pulled back and settled back on his knees towards the end of the table. His view was right up between Chris's thighs and up his ass crack. Matt leaned forward, rubbing Chris's legs as he returned, but stopped as his hands spread the ass cheeks wide. Matt leaned in and brought his face in between the open cheeks. His tongue speared out to Chris's exposed hole. まだ伝わってないんであれば、という動きでした。はい。Please tip me below. Oh my God! Chris moaned. Matt used his tongue to tease, kiss, and suck to make all around the hole wet. He swiped his tongue lower to include the bottom of Chris's ball sack. I mean, a very important area, right? Chris gave a whimper as Matt sucked a ball in his mouth. Matt sucked the other ball in and sucked on it for a while. That sentence could have been better. He slipped his arms up under Chris's hips and raised them up. That's a church song. This provides access to Chris's leaking cock. Everyone likes little pre-cum. Matt licked from Chris's crack, passing over his pucker, then down to his balls to slide down his shaft. So many parts! Matt's lips then closed over Chris's cockhead. I've never said cockhead before. I've said dickhead. I've said head. I've never said cockhead before. That's a little funny of a way to say it, but... Fuck, dude! Chris exclaimed as Matt positioned the dick in his mouth and swallowed it almost to the balls. Okay, Oklahoma boy is doing a good job. But then again, Chris Pratt might be kind of tiny, so it might be easier, than we're imagining, but who knows. Matt slid his mouth up and down on the hard cock jutting out from Chris's raised hips. He could taste some of his actor client. Why do we need to suddenly call him the actor client? What is he, your sister wife? No, also we need a hyphen. Pre-cum as the dick head moved along his tongue. Matt pulled off the dick. I like that verb, pull off something. It just sounds so nasty. And licked back up to the twitching pucker. You're pulling off the dick head and licking back up the... Oh, okay, so he's still face down on his knees, ass raised in the air. So the dick is pointing down, butt is still up in front of your face. So it's dick, butt, right here. Okay. Just wanted to get my bearings. His tongue and lips were kissing and sucking all around the hole. Matt's tongue hardened, and he started to thrust in and out of the tight hole. We don't know if it's that tight. I mean, if he's doing this in every town, probably not. He could hear Chris moaning and grunting as he worked. Are we still working? Really? Matt wanted better access to Chris's hard cock if he was going to play. If he was going to play, he was going to go all the way. He pulled back and slid over the side of the table, intending on having Chris flip over. Got it. Chris used his hand to catch the dick that was moving over it. He used his grip to bring the massage stud's cock to his face. Tentatively. What gay is ever tentative when there's a cock in front of their face? I mean, come on. He stuck his tongue out and tasted Matt's cock. Oh, is it not to your liking? Do you want a different ear? Chris flicked his tongue around the cock head and collected the strand, not the rope, the strand of pre-cum that started to drip from the piss slit. Not a fan of that term right there, piss slit. I like slit, but I don't like piss slit. Prove me wrong. Fight me. Matt flung his head back as Chris opened his mouth and pulled the hard cock in. Chris put his hand on Matt's hip and controlled an in and out rhythm. I was about to say burger. I didn't. You're welcome. Matt put his hand behind the actor's head and moved the pace up some. As his cock head neared the back of Chris's mouth close to the throat entrance, he encountered resistance, and Chris began to gag. Matt slacked off and pulled out. Aw, Matt is so kind. That's really nice of him, actually. Because, some people are not that kind, and they will just try to destroy you. And they think that's cute. That's not cute. That's not cute. But anyway. Flip the rest of the way over, Matt told Chris. Chris complied and came to rest on his back. Matt reaches over and oils his hands again. He stands at the head of the table, resting his hard cock right next to Chris's face. He uses his hands to rub and massage the actor's... Oh, okay, we're getting back to work here. I like this. Okay. His fingers rub around the hard nipples, causing Chris to moan. He continued to work the chest, teasing the hard nips with each pass. Then he headed lower to the tight abs. Okay. His rubbing hands pass close, but do not touch the hard cock pulsing on Chris belly. Chris belly sounds like something we're going to order at the deli. I like it. Matt moves to the side of the table and includes strokes down to Chris's legs and hips. Matt bent his head over and sucked Chris's rigid cock in his mouth. He opened wide and went all the way to the balls. I thought it was going to be hilt. I like saying all the way to the hilt, but that's not where we went. Feeling the cock head brush the entrance to his throat. Let's just say esophagus or uvula. Let's use some words. He began to bob his head on Chris's dick, using a hand to support the shaft and play with the balls. Very good job. Very, very good job. Because sometimes you can't do all the focus on the top. You have to focus on this for extra pressure. And you want to have a little action down here as well. I mean, everyone gets lonely. So you want to make sure everyone feels like they're being paid attention to. They're having attention paid to them. Yes. Chris is moaning while Matt is making him rock hard, almost achingly tight. He gasps as Max swiftly comes off his raging cock. An angry penis. He feels as Matt climbs back on the table, straddling Chris's abs. Matt reaches back and petitions. Matt reaches back and positions Chris's sloppy wet cock to his hole. Why is it sloppy now? He feels the heat from the dick as he pushed the head past both his ass rings. Whoa, this just went from 0 to 100 right here. Let's rewind. Matt reaches back. Oh, so Matt's riding Chris Pratt right now. Matt reaches back and positions Chris's sloppy wet cock to his hole. He feels the heat from the dick as he pushed the head past both his ass rings. Well, the masseuse didn't even get eaten out yet, right? So, like, he hasn't been loosened up and he's the one bottoming? This is not realistic. He looked down and stared into Chris's green eyes as he sank the rest of the way done on the hard cock. Matt comes to rest when he feels the thick pubes covering Chris's balls. Now, the pubes have not been mentioned up until now. And I have a little bit of an issue with that because I think I would have liked to know, what kind of pube situation we're working with. But we're just finding out that Chris Pratt has a thick forest happening. I don't want to be surprised by a thick forest. I want to know going in. Hi, ikimasu. Matt starts to flex his hips back and forth with Chris's dick buried to the hilt. Yeah, so good. I knew they were going to use it. Good. That is a good phrase. Buried to the hilt. Because gay men have sword penises. Yeah. So silly. His inner muscles are massaging and gripping the prick. Chris strokes Matt's legs and sighed. See, I don't like the mix of present tense and past tense here in one sentence. I'm not a fan. And sighed as he felt the hot, velvety glove encasing his member. Oh. Okay. Hot velvety glove was not my nickname in college, let me tell you. Matt then began to lift and lower on the hard dick. He felt the big prick rub his prostate gland. Okay, we're getting specific again. His own cock was hard and was now dripping not strands, or what did they say earlier? Wisps or something? But now it's globs. Dripping globs of pre-cum that was being milked out. He was loosening, so he picked up his pace. He picked up high school pace. His cock was slapping Chris's belly as he bounced around, leaving strands of pre-cum on both of them. Matt heaved back as Chris raised up his knees. Matt grabbed onto them and changed the angle of the power which he was bouncing down with. I don't like ending on a preposition. Both men were grunting. Oh, you're welcome. Both men were grunting, sweat splattering everywhere as they continued to fuck. Now we're just getting down to it, okay. Matt changed direction with his upper body, now to be leaning over Chris's chest. See, this is very important. A lot of people think that, like, you know, sex is going to hurt if you do it in certain positions, or like, oh, I don't like doing it like doggy, or like, oh, this always hurts, like this goes too deep. Like, if you try different angles and different positions, you're going to get a totally different experience. So in this sense, the story is quite realistic. Good job, Elstone. Chris began to pound up into Matt's hot and tight hole, no longer a velvety glove. Once the rhythm was established, who confirmed this? Matt was pushing down to match Chris's push up. Oh, that rarely works. That rarely works. We've all seen the porno where one person is working hard and the other person starts trying to work at the same time. That's not happening. The sounds in the massage studio were moans, grunts, and slaps as their bodies collided with passion. Oh, so we're no longer hearing, you know, Spotify's weekly hits. Okay, that's good. Matt looked down and locked eyes with Chris. Yeah, I hope so, because, you know, he's inside you, bareback. Staring into each other's eyes, Matt leaned down and started to kiss Chris. See, this is where it gets super realistic. They're just starting to kiss. They're just starting to kiss. We are about, I'd say, 75% through the story, and they just locked lips for the first time, but they're already buried to the hilt, bareback, in a massage studio, professional setting. Gays are fucking wild. Their bodies were moving like a machine, and their tongues were wrestling back and forth. Probably not. Matt paused for a moment in his movements other than his tongue. Chris pulled his arms in around Matt's body and in a twisting move, rolled them over while they were still on the table. That's dangerous! Because, I mean, massage tables aren't the sturdiest sometimes, especially when they're in someone's private residence. I mean, Chris is really taking, you know, a risk right there. But, okay. Chris, now on top, pulled back and lifted Matt's legs up to his shoulders. Okay. Classic legs on shoulders. Then he started to pound his cock into the therapist's ass. We're getting back into titles again. Leaning forward to open Matt up as much as he could. Yes, get into it, Chris Pratt. Okay. Chris began to long dick. Let's look at this phrase. This is a new verb. Long dick fuck. Long dick fuck. Would you please spell that? Long space dick space fuck. Okay, great. Please use it in a sentence. The dolphin regrettably long dick fucked the seaman after the ship got overturned. Hi. Okay. 10 points to Goma Dango. Bringing his cock all the way out, then pushing all the way back in. Okay, this makes sense now. It's kind of like pistoning. You know, like, you know, when you do, like you drill for oil and it's like, let's say here's the hole. Usually you'd just be like, the dick doesn't move like that. Maybe like this, but now it's like, shung, ga, shung, ga, shung, ga. You know, it's not unbelievable, but, you know, it takes ISO. Oh, this is Matt. Oh, hails, yeah. Matt yells, a word at a time. Oh, hails, yeah. Matt yells a word at a time as Chris thrusts into him. He looked up and Chris was grinning. I'm not a fan of people who, like, smile a lot during sex. I don't know, it just kind of gets me. But I've been known to high five, so hito wa sore sore. Matt became used to the new pace that Chris had set, and he began to pulse his ass muscles around Chris's cock when he was pulling out with each stroke. The additional sensation was driving Chris crazy. I dive instead. And he dove in, and instead of pulling out, stayed for a moment. You know, opened a bottle of rosé. Leaning back, he lifted Matt's legs off his shoulders and twisting them to one side, comma. Don't mix those fucking tenses, man. Chris resumed pounding in and out of Matt's hole. The change in position was making it tighter for Chris's cock as he thrust. So basically, Matt was not as tight as we thought to begin with. Matt took advantage to pulse with a higher frequency. What kind of batteries does he have? On the hard cock in his ass. I'm gonna come! Shouted Chris as he thrust in deeply. Breed my ass, man! Do it! So typical of the gays. They didn't even talk about whether either of them is on PrEP, whether either of them has been tested recently, and they didn't even discuss condoms to begin with. But they're already just saying breed my ass, whatever. It's like, okay, this is fantasy, this is fan fiction, it's fantasy, but I'm just saying, if you're gonna do this, talk about it first. Matt yelled back and began rapidly pulsing his ass muscles. Chris began to shoot deep in the therapist under him. Back to titles. He pushed his cock as far as he could. Matt's ass muscles were milking his shooting cock, making Chris shoot more and causing his body to quake. His body slumped down, covering Matt, so he passed out, died, basic refractory period, with his dick still buried deep. I prefer it if we detach for a moment, give me a break. Both men caught their breaths. Chris leaned in and joined their lips in a long, hot kiss. Hands were exploring and holding each other. Oh, they're finally holding hands after kissing for the first time 2 seconds ago. Chris began to soften. His cock slid out of Matt's tight hole, trailing some cum. Great visual. Thank you, guys. They continued to make out in Chris's post-climax glow. Oh, I love that. So me and my girl, Michelle, in university used to call this post-laugh sigh. So whenever two people are having a moment and they're just post-laugh sigh, right? Your sigh finishes and you're like, where do we go from here? So I like this. This reminds me of the post-climax glow. Yes, MSAT, hit it up. Let's get you in a shower, Matt said as he wiggled out of Chris's embrace. That would be, oh, sorry, I forgot the accents. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. Let's get you in a shower, Matt said as he wiggled out of Chris's embrace. That would be good, Chris said as he looked down at his oily, sweaty, and cum-streaked body. Slut. Matt grabbed the hand Chris outstretched and pulled him up off the table. Still holding his hand, Matt led Chris into the walk-in shower. Ooh, classy! Behind the changing area. Matt had built it to be easily able to accommodate 3 or 4 men. I think Matt's advertising on Craigslist. He started the water and got it steamy before pulling them in the shower. Chris stepped in the warm water and pulled Matt close to him. He leaned in and they began to kiss again. Oh, finally, how romantic. You're welcome. Standing gave each man access to rub and caress more of their bodies. Hands explored pits. Never been interested. Sorry. Chests, nipples, and butts. Matt became bold. The pace of this story. And gripped Chris's ass cheeks hard and then spread them over. Oh, okay, so Chris was the top, and now he's like, now it's your turn. Okay. Due to the position they were standing in, the water was streaming right on Chris's exposed pucker. Oh, we're back to this word again. And was teasing his hole. Chris moaned in Matt's ear as Matt played with the water hitting the open hole, stretching and releasing the cheeks to change the sensation. Oh, man. Okay, so Chris says, would you fuck me? No question mark. Would you fuck me? It has been so long, and I need a good dick in me, Chris asked. They were grinding their cocks into each other. I think this is also known as frottage, if you rub them together lengthways and make them parallel. The question was making Matt's semi-hard cock expand like a fucking zip file. His hands still on Chris's ass. His hands still on Chris's ass as he pulled his head back to look into Chris's eyes. Oh, we're gonna get romantic here. Okay. I will fuck you with pleasure, Matt answered. In the shower or back in the stadio?
I think in the studio would be good. I do not want either of us to slip and get hurt in the shower,
Chris replied. Okay, so they're afraid about getting a boo-boo, but they're not afraid about getting HIV. Fantastic. Matt turned off the water and grabbed a few towels. They quickly dried off and returned to the massage table. Chris walked up and leaned his chest on the table, extending his ass up and out. Oh, Chris is ready for the dicking. Okay, wouldn't that be a funny horror movie, The Dicking? Well, it would probably be like, one of those movie that starts out as horror, but then it's like Who Delivered a Pizza kind of moment. Okay. Matt began to lick and circle the hot hole. Chris would squirm each time Matt's tongue would slide in and open the pucker. Matt put 2 fingers in his mouth and got them slobber wet. No. There is no dog fucking happening, please. Ew. No. But I mean, 1 finger is usually the standard to start off with. I like how brave Matt is getting with the 2. He's just like, Chris, he's ready for this. He continued to soak Chris's pucker with his tongue, but placed his fingertip at the entrance. Are they going to ring the doorbell? With a bit more spit right in the hole, Matt slid his finger in the tight hole. Hold on. He just put 2 fingers in his mouth and got them slobber wet, but now he's only starting with 1. So obviously something, triggered his worry, and he decided to be a little bit extra cautious when going into Chris's Pratt. Gaping hole, if you will. He went slowly and smoothly until he had cleared both rings. This is the first mention I'm hearing of both rings in this story. We heard it twice already, and I guess, if you think about it, there are 2 rings, like the first ring on the outside and then the one when you get in that lets you in the deep storage area. But I've never heard it referred to so often before. Get it, Elstone, get it. Chris, oh my God, and had rubbed against Chris's gland. Chris let out a long moan and began to breathe deeply as he was adjusting to the finger, if you have to adjust to the finger. Matt started to move his finger in small circles. Good move. He continued to lick around the hole and sides of Chris's ass cheeks. Yes. While you're working it, also work on the outside. It'll make things better in the long run. For, what is it called? Long dick fucking. Yes. He soon began to slide his licked finger in and out of Chris's ass. Matt took care to make sure he was rubbing the gland each chance. Most guys can't find it, let's be honest. Chris was beginning to push back against the finger. Chris, what's it? Matt then added the second finger, finally, which Chris responded with a sigh at the extension of his ass rings with the additional finger. Matt was quickly finger fucking the hot movie star with both fingers. He felt like Chris was ready. Honey, Chris was ready when he was riding the oil rig with the oil workers. I mean, let's not kid anyone. Matt stood up and grabbed some of the massage oil. Oh, we're finally using lube this time. I think last time it was just slobber wet, right? He slicked up his fingers and then his dripping dick. He pushed his oil fingers back in Chris deep to get the oil slicked in as best he could. Removing his fingers, he placed his large cock. Okay, everyone's very generous with their sizes in this story. It's not always the situation. Removing his fingers, he placed his large cock ahead at Chris's hole. He let it sit there for a moment. Open a magazine, check your horoscope, delete some emails, mark a few unread, come back to them later, when you have a little more time to look at them and take a moment. Watching Chris's breath become more even, he began to push in while holding on to Chris's hips. Classic. Chris let out a long moan when Matt's cock pressed and then passed his gland. He passed the fucking gland. He's past the storage area. He's like in the basement area of IKEA where you have to pick up the shelving stuff. That's where that dick is. Matt continued smoothly until his pubs rested against Chris' ass. We're getting lazy towards the end, folks. He reached his hand around and found Chris's hanging prick and began to jack it while Chris was getting used to being filled with dick. Woo! The verbiage there. After a short time, Chris was thrusting back on Matt's cock. With a hand still on Chris's dick, Matt started to move in and out of the very tight hole. Yay! I wish I had my pom-poms tonight. It was gripping like a molten velvet vice. Did you hear that? Molten velvet vice. Please welcome to the stage. Wow, that is a good trio right there. Whew. Matt moved further out with each stroke until he was just short of his cockhead from exiting the hot hole. Now we're back to basics again, right? Sweat was pouring from both of them again, and as Matt began to plow into the hot ass, his balls were slapping against Chris's with each hard stroke. It was leading Max to a very large climax. Not anything basic. It was a very large one, okay? Do not misjudge this climax.
Let me see your face when you come in me,
Chris requested. Matt pulled his dick out with a pop. Okay. And helped Chris turn over, placing his back on the table and his ass hanging over the edge. Oh, okay, so you're dipping the ass, getting a better angle. Smart. Matt stepped back in between Chris's legs and pushed all the way back in. Nice work. He was close and now staring into the green eyes and holding Chris's legs wide while plunging into him, literally scuba diving into this man. Matt felt his climax building deep in his balls. He started growling. So you can't do this, eh? The next few thrusts had the sensation building higher and higher. Finally, he began to launch ropes of cum in the waiting ass. Yes, this ass is in the Machiai Shih Tzu awaiting Ippai no Seishi no Deposito. I'm coming, Matt shouts as he thrusts deep and feels his dick pulse 4 times. Count it. 4 times. That's all. Nothing else. 4. Matt smiled as Chris was looking lustfully at the massage therapist. Slowly, Matt pulled his spent cock out and lowered Chris's legs towards the floor. Gentlemen. He pulled Chris to his feet and walked them back to the shower. Waste of water. Who's speaking?
That was hot, dude. I have not had that feeling in years,
Chris confided as they waited for the water temperature to adjust. It was very hot. Thanks for letting me come in, you. You have a great ass. Let's not say that, guys. Let's not say that. Thanks for letting me come in you. Let's not say that. No. Matt replied as they stepped in the water. He gave the ass in question a quick slap. We're apparently doing an investigation now. They were both grinning as Matt started to soap them both up. Hands were still exploring and teasing. Are they not done? They cleaned up and Matt turned off the water. He looked up to Chris, holding out a towel for him. He accepted it. And they dried off. Matt tossed his towel in the hamper and was going to pass by Chris so they could dress. Chris stopped him and pulled Matt into a deep, sensual kiss. This is the first time I think we've used sensual. No. He said long, sensual rub earlier on. Okay, not added it. Stirring both cocks up to semi-hard states. I have work tomorrow.
Thanks again, Matt, Chris started. I am relaxed. I have my knots worked out and am sated. Great job, dude.
It is a pleasure. I enjoy making people feel good. People don't talk like this, Matt answered as he finally stepped by. They dress. Matt omitted his jockstrap. He was going to reminisce about this appointment for a long, slow while after Chris left. He just came and he's already thinking about jacking off again. I love gays. He turned to see Chris putting his shoes on and stand up. They came together for a hug as Matt escorted Chris to the waiting room.
This was the best massage I've had. Here is my card that has my cell on it. If you make it out to California, give me a buzz,
Chris said, handing Matt a card. People do this? Why not just exchange like WhatsApp or line info or like Instagram DMs or I don't know, whatever. Thanks, Matt blushed. If your stay is longer or you pass through, shoot me an email. They hugged for the last time. Chris gave Matt a peck on the cheek and a jingle of his free-balling junk with a Do not touch my balls. Do not jingle my balls. No. Then he headed out the door. Matt sat there for a few minutes, kind of in a daze. Belatedly, he looked at the notification that popped up after Chris left. It was his online pay service, letting him know of the $1,000 without a comma tip and a message from Mr. Pratt. Not my father, though. LOL CP. Okay. Lame closing message. But $1,000? So basically, Matt was trying to have like a nice little sexy moment, and Chris Pratt turned it into unwanted prostitution? But I mean, I guess it was a tip, so it was kind of okay. But still, I don't know, that just feels kind of weird. I mean, I'm not going to say no to $1,000, right? If you're going to pay me $1,000, I will take $1,000. But I don't know, it just feels kind of weird. So again, thank you, Elstone. Fabulous, fabulous story. Absolutely loved it. And again, if anyone wants to donate to the site or check it out for themselves, you can go to http://donate.nifty.org/donate.html, and you can definitely hit up one of my favorite websites. I think they would love it, and I think you will love it as well, because everyone loves little porn. You can read it anywhere. You can read it anytime. You can read it in the morning, in the evening, even when you're, having supper time. It is all black and white like this, so you don't really get caught with pictures like you would if you're reading like sexy anime. So highly recommended. And if anyone enjoyed what I was doing here today, please definitely hit me up below. You can tip me using PayPal, paypal.me/gomadango. I would be very appreciative. And I had a fun time tonight, and I would love to do this again. So let me know if you enjoyed it as well. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Okay, have a good night, everyone, and bye-bye.